Stuart, let's talk about social media. You're muted. You're muted though. I need a shirt that says you're muted. Hold on. Yeah, you're muted.
Sorry about that.
That's all
Those
right,
were
dude.
a couple of really great sessions there. I really liked what Robert did, because it is gonna, what I talk about is going to reflect on also what Robert is doing in his business. So I'm going to talk mostly here about social media, and I'm going to show you some examples of some very good social media. And then I'm going to go into show you a little bit about what we're doing on a social media side of things here at Chime. So firstly, when you're thinking about your budget at the start of the year, you kind of have to define where you're going to spend your money, right? So your website has to be a very good source of lead generation, direct marketing. You have to build your local presence, which is really your sphere of influence, right? And that leads to a very successful database that you can then use for many years to come. You've got your paid lead options. So we all know about those, and we know about the conversion rates, and we know how fast you have to follow up with them. You know, yes. Speed to lead, within 2 minutes, very important. But there's also the traditional ways of looking at your business. And that's, like Robert mentioned, the open house factor or door knocking, right? What happened to door knocking? Really good agents can still step out and explore their neighborhoods, but really you want to make sure, and this is one of the key pieces to social media, is you're driving leads through geographic targeting, right? And that is super important when it comes to social media, as well as PPC and SEO, because ultimately what you're trying to do is create a brand for yourself. You could see by what Robert Lucido has done, his brand is very well known. Everybody associates Lucido with success, which is ultimately where you want to get to. If social media is not part of your business plan today, get it in there right away, because you really need to have that social media presence, because that's where consumers are looking, and it's all about the consumer when it comes down to it. So let's talk about social media first of all. And to a lot of realtors, it's a scary thing, right? They don't know what to post. They don't know what time to post, how often to post, where to post, right? Facebook is still the #1 site for real estate agents, followed by, Instagram. LinkedIn has some presence, but now some people are going to things like YouTube and TikTok, for instance, right? A younger generation. It's not going to be someone like me who's on TikTok, but the new millennials who are getting into real estate, I almost say have an advantage, because they are so familiar with social media and what they need to do. So let's talk a little bit about it and what's missing in today's social media sites. So when I look at real estate sites online, a lot of people are really focused on listings, right? I got a listing, or I sold a listing recently, and they're promoting their way that way. But really what social media is all about is relevant content. So yeah, for sure, listings are relevant, and solds are relevant, or you got on someone under contract, absolutely relevant. But there's also other stuff that you can add. So things like what's happening in your market today, right? Not every market is the same. So you're not seeing low inventory in every market, or you're not seeing a decline in buy and sell activity or transactions in every market. So what you post on social media has to be relevant to the market you're living in. So I used to work for a social media company, and one of the problems we had was the content that we were providing to realtors sometimes didn't match their realtor profile, right? So living in Florida, but we're posting mountains, behind as part of their content. So we've all gotten better at that, right? If you live in Florida, what do you post? A beach? Something that's relevant there. Or if you live in Seattle, Washington, you're gonna post Mount Rainier or some of the beautiful island shots that you can get. But there's also so much more that you can do that a lot of real estate agents are not doing today. So I believe, and I think Tristan, you're in line with this, but video has become almost essential. So whether it's a bomb video or a self-film video or a 360 tour, those can all be posted on your social sites that you're using. And as you try and build your profile out, you're going to see that more and more people focus on that relative content. And what you want to do at that point, is have a call to action built into that. So a form that asks for information, email, phone number, name, and then you can start, obviously, the most important thing is that is going back into your Chime system, right? So you're going to start nurturing them with the smart plans right away. You're following up within the 2 minutes that we've talked about, that Robert talked about. You're farming your own area. You're doing everything you're supposed to do. But it does take some time. But what you have to realize, it is so important for your social media presence, and for people to see you there. If you don't have that, you are falling behind some other people. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to share my screen out, and I'm going to show you a couple of really good examples of who does things exceptionally well. And I've been working with this realtor for a while. His name's Al. He's in Massachusetts, but he's got a great social presence. So I'll walk you through a little bit of this. So you can see he's got a very clean page. It's very open. So the first thing he's posting is, what's your home worth? That is essentially your call to action right there. And Al, you know, he's not a young buck by any stretch of the imagination, but he really's got a good social plan. So what you're going to see is, yeah, he does post a little bit of information. So he's using RoomView as a content provider for himself, and they have some really good content, but there's others out there. There's, yeah, you know, most people probably know them, but I'll post some later in the chat. But you'll also see he is posting relevant content about his area, or he's posting videos. You can see this is a video posting. Another posting here. Video is catching up in a second, but you can see he's not just a one-trick pony. As we go down further, there's Al actually on YouTube posting his videos, but he's also connected his YouTube page with his Facebook page. So you're actually getting the dual hit on YouTube and on Facebook. And he's also got his Instagram page linked up with this. So not only is he using Facebook, but anything he posts on Facebook is also posting to Instagram. So he's kind of far ahead of the curve when you think about how you should be looking at a Facebook page. Every one of his videos is a little bit different. You know, over here, you've got the casual look. Here, you've got the more business look. As we go through, you know, that's one of his listings. So listing reports, local important information, right? US home sales fell in June. So he is keeping up with everything that you need to do. So this is how you can be super successful. And we haven't even talked about lead generation for Al here. Every one of these posts has some form of call to action where he's getting people into his database every day. He's letting the system that he uses follow up with those people and effectively grow his business. Now, Al, when I met him originally about 5 years ago, had a 2-person team. He's now up to an 8-person team. So his business has really doubled and then tripled, and by effectively using social media. So again, this is one example, and you can find many really good top examples of what Al is doing and what some other real estate agents are doing to really grow your business. And the important thing here is it's really not expensive to work on Facebook, right? You can decide how much you want to spend on advertising, or you can just manage the posts yourself. I've seen some really larger teams that have dedicated people that are working their Facebook page. So it's fantastic, right? So just a good example there of what we're doing. So my point is this, right? Don't be afraid of social media. It's a fantastic way to get your business out on the web, on top of all the other things that you're doing. That should be hitting your targets and your goals for the year. This is a very important piece of it as we come through the year and you're trying to hit those goals depending on the number of people you're trying to get into your database. This is a super important part of it. The other part of Facebook that we don't talk about a lot is Facebook Live. So, you know, we talk about open houses. You can actually do a Facebook Live session from an open house where you're videoing directly at that time and you're live as people are coming in the door. It's a very good way to not only get yourself online, but also to promote the listing that you're actually trying to get traction on. So I like to talk about this because I'm almost a fanatic about social media. If you follow me on LinkedIn or if you follow me on Facebook, my pages are very busy. I'm on there active almost all the time. You know, if I look at my LinkedIn page, I've got almost 2,000 people that follow me on a daily basis. So
Nice.
I use LinkedIn for business because my role at Chime is really about growing the business and connecting with people and connecting with potential customers or partners in this case. So very valuable for me as someone who's doing business in real estate.
Now I'm checking you out on LinkedIn right now.
Well, we've been connected for like 14 years or something like that. It's
Yeah, I
crazy.
know, but I'm checking out what you're posting lately, dude. You have some pretty good activity, man.
I try, right? I try.
Good.
So when I am at trade shows or I'm at functions where I'm speaking, I often will speak about social media and how relevant it is to growing your business at this point. So yeah, take a look at it. Learn Facebook, learn Instagram, learn the other social media sites that you need to be engaged with and include them as part of your marketing plan. And you'll see your business grow very quick.
I love that, man. All right, so how can we now incorporate Chime with social media?
Good question. So let's take a look at that. So Chime, I'm not sure if people are aware, just released Social Studios. So Social Studios is a very, very cool piece. I don't want to share that. Just one sec, Tristan. Give me a second.
While you're doing that, I'm going to answer a question. What's the best time to post? I think a lot of people overthink that. There are best times to post, but my main concern is post. If you're not posting daily, just post. That would be my first answer to that. If you've posted daily for a whole year, then it matters. Then you can be like, okay, what time is it? What time should I be posting? Right. And then you can take a look at your numbers, and actually your numbers will tell you based on your audience what that time is. So
yeah, absolutely. So we used to post 7 a.m. in the morning because that's before really people get started. And you can actually schedule it East Coast, West Coast, depending on where you're doing business. But 7 a.m. in the morning, it gets out there. People tend to spend time in the morning on social media. So it's a good way to get you top of mind and top of screen, top of page, because they don't always make it through 2 or 3 screens. Because there is a lot of activity on Facebook, right? You've got a lot of activity, but let's talk about Chime. So Chime recently introduced something called Social Studios. And if you are familiar with Chime, you can obviously identify with the screen that's in front of us here, because that's your dashboard. And we are very much a point and click system. So if I look at my left-hand side scroll bar, I can go down here and hit Social Studios. And really what Social Studios does is link all your social media pages together with a scheduling agent where you can actually go in and pre-schedule content that's going to go out. And depending on what you're posting, every 2 days is really good. You can throw a listing in between there. You can throw a live video in between there. But you can see here this little connect button up on the right-hand corner. If I open that up, you'll see how to connect easily with Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and obviously we are going to be adding sites consistently in through Social Studios. So I'm not going to go into too much detail here because I think Eric and Phil are going to go into much more detail later on. But you can see here, I can go in and create a post. Basically, it's a listing, a blog, post a landing page, make a custom post. So it's super exciting for me to see that Chime is going down this path because it is so relevant. Obviously, for the last half an hour, I've been talking about this and how important your social presence is when you're thinking about consumers, and especially the next generation of consumers who are going to be buying and selling homes.
Dude, I love Social Studio. It makes it so much easier. I was
you know, what's the most important piece, right? Is the data that you're getting back from your social presence into Chime for all that nurturing and follow-up, right? The 2 minute close, 2 minutes a lead, lead to close. It's all going back into Chime, and Chime is doing the magic in the background, the nurturing and the long-term commitment that we're making, obviously, to your customer and your database. And I said this earlier when we spoke at 9 o'clock. People should be looking now at that long-term relationship that they're having. And this allows you, as part of that, to engage with them more frequently via more apps and things that we use every day on social and as a real estate agent.
Dude, I like that. All right, I have something to add because sometimes we miss this part when it comes to social media. We seem to talk a lot about the posting or the cadence or what time, like somebody asked, right? What you should be asking if you're lacking engagement, you're lacking growth, is how much time am I allocating to engage with other people's content? Because this is a two-part process. One is the content that you're putting out there, and the other part is the actual engagement from you. Like if I
Yes.
want to have other people love my stuff and see my stuff and engage, then it's going to take an effort from me daily to be able to connect with others, comment, like, private message them, and then you'll start seeing yourself grow in that side. So I just wanted to add that part to it because a lot of people
Yeah, I
seem
probably spend an hour and a half a day on LinkedIn engaging with people that have asked about what I'm doing or a post that I've posted. You know, there's all the messaging that you can have in there. It comes right to your phone. You can work remotely as with all these different sites. So absolutely, I agree with you there.